Hello friends, this is Coldrun. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. We're here in the Unsundered world. And so before we get started, I just wanted to say how cool it is that this architecture works so well in this context. Because the Art Deco thing of it feels very urban to me. And it's really neat how well it works in like this green, pastoral, Edenic setting. It's very neat. Before we start for the side quest for this session, let's find a minion. Who do we get today? Oh, Wind Up Gosetsu. Crafted to honor Gosetsu, hero and leader of the oppressed peoples of far eastern Doma, this miniature replica is faithful down to the Blade Master's sword, Samonji. I didn't know his sword had a name, let alone that it was Samonji. Notorious fugitive, wanted dead or alive by the Empire, Issei. I don't remember who Issei is, but must have been some, I don't know, some local pro-imperial person. Anyway, Earnest Observer. Sweet Temptations. The Earnest Observer casts his gaze hither and yon, as if search... You know, it hits me that these side quests are probably a good chance to level up my other jobs, aren't they? Anything that's above 80. Just because they sink down, right? If I remember correctly, I think they do sink down. Sorry, Sweet Temptations. The Earnest Observer casts his gaze hither and yon as if searching for something. Bah, where in the world could the rest have gone to? What are you looking for? Ah, friend familiar. If you have a moment, I require help rounding up our Agavoides young. 6 remain unaccounted for, and I would be most grateful if you could search for them with me. The creatures secrete nectar from their tails, which attracts insects. It's pretty much how it works for people, too. Where they swarm, you are like to find an agavoids. And when you do, use this etheric rope to catch it. Small as they are, I don't believe they will be too far away. Let us endeavor to find 3 each and then reconvene here. Okay, so I'm going to lasso me some agavoids. Oh, that's what those are. Those little green leaf things with the tail. Gotcha. The agavoid's young lies unmoving, attempting to lure butterflies, it would seem. What a cutie. Etheric rope, made by braiding together ether itself. This rope is more than capable of restraining diminutive and docile creatures, such as the agavoides. Gotcha. I found my group. Ah, you are returned as well. I managed to find 3. How about yourself? Agavoides young. Securely bound, this Agavoides young isn't going anywhere you're not. A little leash on it. Wonderful, this accounts for all of them. We can finally release the creatures. Why are you releasing them? Ah, okay. Lest you wonder, the Agavoides were created to curb the insect population. They have passed the first phase of determination, and thus will be provisionally sent out into the wider world. Release them in that way. Though a few steps remain before they can fully take their place in nature, I've no doubt that they will make our star a better place. I hope so. They look like they're ready to work. This isn't much, but please accept it by way of my gratitude for your assistance. Money. Proto-money. Thedas, are you the creator of butterflies? For a familiar, you appear quite inquisitive. Perhaps you were created to learn? Well, if there's anything you wish to know, I'd be glad to explain. Tell me how you came up with butterflies, because those are pretty. Paramonos. Kick some asp, good lord. Paramonos spies an opportunity to foist a perilous task upon an unsuspecting visitor. How curious. A familiar bearing armaments, you must be special indeed. As it happens, I may have a use for you. Would you care to assist me by capturing a few Ophions? In exchange for a reward of sorts, naturally. I'm surprised that they have the concept of reward here, but I think that's one of those... I don't know, I think this is one of those gameplay mechanic things rather than, like, an actual part of the world here. I should warn you, however, they tend to be rather uncooperative, aggressively so in fact. The familiars previously recruited for this task all met with most unfortunate ends. A terrible waste, but let us not dwell on such things. Here, take this etherically imbued rope. We're getting a lot of these. And use to restrain... I guess use it to restrain? Use it to restrain the Ophions. Remember, I require living samples. They are extremely valuable. So if you must choose between their lives and your own, do the honorable thing and let them kill you. At least you're honest about it. No problem. I only accidentally killed one of them. I promise it wasn't to spite you for your request that I kill myself instead. Paramonos, have you brought the specimens I requested? Captured Ophion. The warrior of light is possessed of many talents, mystical and strange. The ability to snuggle a the ability to smuggle gigantic scalekin on their person, without so much as a suspicious bulge, however, is perhaps strangest of them all. Yes, it's thanks to the power of Heidelin. Praise be her name. Well, well, to overcome such ferocious creatures and live to tell the tale. Your maker certainly placed great importance in durability. As for the Ophions you brought me, they will be delivered to the Academia Anator. I think it was an Anator. Was it Anator or Anator? I was calling it a Niter and that was wrong. I don't remember if it's Anator or Anator. Like the other creatures in Elpis, they are currently under observation that we may determine their suitability for existence beyond these confines. Samples are carefully selected and sent for further study. If they are found worthy, they will receive official approval. Only then can they be submitted for the approval of the Bureau of the Architect Society. Even as you can imagine, the evaluation process is particularly strict for voracious predators such as Ophions. It would reflect rather poorly on those involved if they were to wreak havoc when unleashed into the wider world. Yeah, that would make sense. Which makes me, again, it makes me wonder if some sort of imbalance, especially the fact that we're questing here in Elpis as opposed to any other place in the past. It makes me wonder if the root cause of this rot that caused the final days is the result of something being approved that shouldn't have, or being released when it wasn't approved. Not that it is any concern of yours. Here's your reward. Now run along, would you? Thank you for the Carney Yarrick. Delicious. Next up, we got... Ooh, what's that? Oh, no, we've done that. Eucleides. Oh, yes, we get to play with the Spriggans. The Ore the Merrier, of course. Of course it's the Ore the Merrier. Eucleides eyes you curiously. A visitor touring our facility, are you? If you wish, you can assist us with one of our latest arrivals, the Aureus. The creatures are identifiable by their long ears, which they use to detect danger. They are also keenly attuned to minerals and can find deposits even in pitch darkness. That makes sense. What doesn't make sense is how happy they are. Look at their little faces. Now, we were just testing the effect of minerals on them when they reacted acutely to mana stone. Or maybe it's Greek, maybe it's monostony. Becoming visibly agitated, they each grabbed a stane and scurried off. We need to round them up again, and could use a helping hand. If you are up to it, please seek out my colleague who is out searching. She should be somewhere between here and First Bloom and can give you instructions. First Bloom. Oh, that's the name of that section after Propylaeon. Okay. Graceful observer. Come to help us find the Aurea, Aureae, you say? We're much obliged. 3 of the critters you've been sighted yonder. When you find one, use this Hypnos potion on it. It should put it to sleep and allow you to easily capture it. I like that. Hypnos being what the amazing game Hades, check out my Let's Play, the amazing game Hades taught me is the god of sleep. Should the potion fail to work, as it occasionally does, you can simply exhaust the creature into submission. Just tell it about things that interest you. That usually works on exhausting most people around me. Daydreaming Aureus. You should use the Hypnos potion on the Aureus before you attempt to capture it. Okay. Hypnos potion, created by a man named Hypnos. Oh. Okay. This potion boasts powerful sleep-inducing properties. Sleep, little stone bunny. The Aureus quickly falls asleep. Aw. Agitated Aureus. Oh, this is not going to work. The potion's not going to work on it, is it? The Aureus is too agitated. The potion has no effect. Graceful Observer. Ah, there you are. Were you able to catch the Aurei? I was. We have... Wait, 3 slumbering Aurei. I thought I killed the other one, the last one. But maybe I just knocked it unconscious. So, one way or another, the Aureus has been rendered unconscious and can be safely transported. Okay, good, so I didn't go overboard. Thank you. Now only 2 of the critters remain at large. I've received word they've been sighted in another area, so I'll hurry there at once. In the meantime, I'd be grateful if you could take the 3 fellows you caught back to Eucleides. Happily. I'll happily carry the sack of stone-chewing bunnies. Eucleides. Oh, 'tis you again. How did you fare with the Aurei? I fared quite well. Well now, you should bring the creatures yourself. I hope they didn't give you too much trouble. No, they were a delight. Their abnormal behavior was most certainly caused by the power harbored in Monastone. Still, we have the highest hopes for the Aureus. In their digging for minerals, they prime the earth for plant life. Oh. I didn't even think of that. That makes sense that they would have kind of a place in the ecosystem. If we suppress their sensitivity to magical influence, theirs will surely be a beneficial existence to the star. If we suppress their sensitivity to magical influence, so currently they're too sensitive to it. That's why they're all looking at flowers and wandering around, I guess. And you, my friend, can be proud in having helped to bring them forth. And so in reality, I'm like the great-great-grandfather of Ziggy and Ziggy's whole clan. Impatient Observer. A colorful concept. The Impatient Observer appears to be waiting for someone. Ah, there you are. Yes, you the familiar. Oh wait, you there. Yes, you the familiar. I need you to do me a favor. A colleague and I are supposed to conduct some tests at the Thalassa. I think that's... That's like the ocean, right? I'm thinking of like thalassophobia, fear of the ocean. But said colleague is late to arrive. I would go over and find him myself, but I have preparations to finalize. Could you head over to First Bloom and tell him to hurry up? He's an observer with blue hair. You gotta have blue hair. Blue-haired observer. Well now, there's a familiar I'm not familiar with. Apologies, I couldn't help myself. So, I already like you, blue-haired observer. So, is there something I can do for you? You can grace me with more puns. Ah, the tests! So deep was I in thought, I completely lost track of time. I like you even more, blue-haired observer. In my defense, it was those very tests I had been pondering. Lest you wonder, they are for a species of fish that purifies the sea by devouring carcasses. That's a good idea. Small as they are easy targets for larger fish. Thus did we imbue them with poison as a defense mechanism. Not wanting the poison to outright kill, we kept it weak. Even so, it gradually accumulates within the predator's body, and testing has determined that it will lead to mass death. Yeah, that's probably bad, because if you want it as a defense mechanism, you want the predator to like know right away that it was a bad idea, right? Not to find out later and not be able to connect the two. Though we wish to avoid this outcome, the concept for the fish is truly marvelous, and it would be a shame to abandon it, but what to do? You could warn predators that it's poisonous, you can give it warning colors. I mean, I don't know if it's warning colors. I mean, yes, I think that's going to be right, but the key here is not the colors. It's warning that it's poisonous. I know they're basically the same answer. But of course, in doing so, it would reduce the likelihood that they will be preyed upon. Yes, I believe we have our solution, and it's all thanks to you, my brilliant familiar. Hey, I'm Azem's familiar, ostensibly. I'll go and join my colleague at once. We have a test to perform. Do you suppose you could fetch something for me? For the test I have in mind, we'll be needing some bird of Elpis feathers. These can be had from a colleague of ours who specializes in avians. The man should be somewhere back on the main aisle. My thanks again, and see you shortly. I saw those before. I was wondering if they were a reference to Birds of Paradise, because this is Paradise and Birds of Elpis, and just the phrase birds of something is very specifically seems to be drawing on Birds of Paradise, but I actually don't know what Birds of Paradise look like. But you know what? Screw it. I will know what they look like. While I'm AFK running, Birds of Paradise. What are these? Birds of Paradise. Oh, wow. Those are gorgeous. Yeah, that makes sense. They have kind of long, colorful plumage, tails, a variety of colors to them. Yeah, yep, it's got to be a reference to Birds of Paradise. I know it. I know the term mostly because there was a magic card about it. Alien Familiar. Whose observer might you be? And what is it you require? God, I love that bird. Bird of Elpis feathers, you say? I assume they are for your master. Here you go, then, and run along. Thank you. I didn't even need to kill one of these. Impatient observer. 'Tis well he's finally here, but apparently we still need something for the tests. Yep, I got you. Blue-haired observer. There you are, my clever familiar. You have the feathers, I trust. I do. Bird of Elpis feathers. Taken from the marvelously vibrant Bird of Elpis. These feathers boast all of the colors of the rainbow. Yes, these colors are perfect. We shall grant our fish the same to warn would-be predators of its poison. Impatient observer. I say, was it the familiar who conceived of this idea? Blue-haired observer. It was. Thanks to her, we won't need to revert our fish to ether. Impatient observer. So, not only did you find my colleague, you thought of a solution to our problem and fetched the feathers. You've been very busy on our behalf, and we're grateful. Here's a little something for your troubles. Thank you. Thank you for your impatience. Zeuxis. You are working with... It looks like butterflies and a platypus and all sorts. Oh, look, a little hedgehog. Oh, Zeuxis. Digestive problems. Zeuxis needs a helping hand of steel. I don't know whose familiar you are, but won't you lend me a hand? A plant creation has recently dropped its fruit, and I'd be grateful if you could gather a few samples for me. I love Pigeon's face just there in the foreground. You should find it. You should find some along the northern edge. Hello, birdie. You should find some along the northern edge of this isle. Large as they are, you won't mistake them. Be warned, however, that the fruit are covered in an acidic secretion. Before you handle any, you'll want to apply this steel skin balm to your hands. Thanks for the warning, I guess. Here we are. Oh, it looks like this fruit with its noxious cover has taken out one of these birds. Noxious fruit. Creations lie prone near the fruit, alive but insensate. Insensate? Insensate. Oh, I didn't. I had to use it first. I thought I. Okay, my bad. Applied to the skin, this balm protects from caustic substances. You liberally apply the steel skin balm to your hands. Oh shit! This is really hurting me. My bad. Noxious fruit. Okay. This is like some really deadly fruit. Like it's... I was expecting a minor debuff, like the kind... Like, you know, back in the... what do you call it? Back in the... in what's it called? The fairy place. Back in the fairy zone in Shadowbringers. I'm thinking Lita Laron, but that's not the name of it. Ilmeg. Back in Ilmeg, there was a quest where you were supposed to, like, not interact with the pixies, but if you did interact with them, like, it just stunned you or it slowed you down for a little bit. This could have actually killed me, I think, if I didn't have healing. I feel like this could have actually killed me if I hadn't, if I weren't a red mage. Just one more reason why red mages are the superior job. Zeuxis, I got your stuff. Ah, you're back. Were you able to get the fruit? I was. The noxious fruit, the ripe, acid-covered, and unsettlingly familiar fruit of a plant creation. Wait, unsettlingly familiar? What are these supposed to be? Is that supposed to be an avocado? I don't know. Why is it unsettlingly familiar? Oh ho, such marvelous specimens. My thanks. You may be wondering why the fruit is covered in acid. One day, each fruit will become a carnivorous... Fucking God. Why did I help you? I just helped make, Oh no. I just helped make malboros, didn't I? One day, each fruit will become a carnivorous plant that preys on herbivores, keeping their population in check. But until it matures, it needs protection from those self-same herbivores. To that end, we tried giving the mother plant the impulse to spray its fruit with its digestive secretion. The fruit you brought, we will examine to determine its resistance to the acid and make adjustments as necessary. My thanks for your help. You are not welcome. You need to abandon this project, like, right the fuck now. Ugh. That feels terrible. You're looking a bit unwell. You must have gotten the secretion on you, you poor thing. We'd best treat you at once. There, you'll be... I mean, I cured my... It's gone. Thank you, though. You'll be fine now. You did well to endure the pain, but you should have used the bomb. Remember to do so next time, all right? There won't be a next time. Next time I see that fruit, I'm going to burn it. Last quest of this batch. Callias. Clutch Devastation. They really are knocking it out of the park with these quest names. Callias is supposed to be keeping an eye on the creations. Oh, so much to do, so little time. Ah, a volunteer. How would you like to earn the respect and gratitude of Elpis's most gifted researcher? I require assistance in gathering eggs. A simple task, really. Egg gathering, the very reason I came here. I'm not going to snark them. If it's so simple, why don't you do it yourself? There's no option. All these are snark options. Yeah, if it's so simple, why don't... Sorry, I just clapped a fly. If it's so simple, why don't you do it yourself? No, that's rude. Egg gathering, the very reason I came here. This is at least a little bit less direct. Excellent. Why, I sense your social standing rising even as we speak. To business, then. I seek Daedalian eggs, that I may ascertain their ability to produce and raise offspring. One somewhat disconcerting trait of these winged wonders is their proclivity for laying eggs here, there, and everywhere. That's the reason why I'm finding it rather difficult to keep track of the damnable things. I've neither the time nor inclination to go chasing after them myself, but I'm sure you don't mind. If the parents take offense at you pinching their eggs, you have my permission to slay them if need be. Thank you. I will try, but Clutch Devastation is not my intention. I'm hoping I will be able to do this without killing them. Look at this creature, Yggdrasil. Like Yggdrasil, I guess? It has the same linguistic root, probably. This is a cool one. This is a really cool proto-treant. Daedalian nesting spot. I have a feeling we're going to meet the parents. There are no eggs to be found here. Oh, never mind. You discovered a Daedalian egg. Deliver it to Callias to free yourself from his service. Oh, it's like the Daedalians are like zoos. Callias, free me from your service. I assume you haven't returned empty-handed. Nope, I have Daedalian eggs. The Daedalian puts a great deal of effort into hiding its eggs from predators. Unfortunately, it reckoned without your ability to locate hidden objects. It reckoned without your ability That's a weird phrase. To locate hidden objects with laser-like precision. It helps to have, like, quest markers. Splendid! I now have ample evidence that the Daedalian are breeding as expected. Then all we need to do is wait for the concept to be officially approved. But wait, if even a mediocre familiar such as you can steal their eggs, how are they supposed to propagate in the wild? You know that your shins are like at biting height for me. No, this will never do. We shall have to find a way to improve their natural defenses against such threats. 2 heads, perhaps? Fire breath? Cover their eggs in spikes? That might make it rather tricky to lay. Oh, God, oh my... Yep. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, don't inflict that sort of... Like, human labor is rough enough. If babies were covered in spikes, it would be even worse. Well, it's certainly given me food for thought. I shall have to discuss this with the others. Oh, you still here? I suppose a word of thanks is in order. Thanks. There, satisfied? I'm telling you, like, don't mess with people whose teeth are that close to your calves. Okay. Anything? Oh no, you didn't give me any loot. You just gave me some monies. Okay, so that's going to be it for me for now. Next time we will head back to continue with Lives Apart, the next in the main story quest line. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.